Jam, get out that jam. I give him 15 when I ask again. Jam, get out that jam. I give him 15 when I ask again. Jam, get out that jam. I give him 15. Oh yeah, what up? Everybody watching the video back later. Everybody watching the VOD. Everybody on YouTube. How y'all doing? About to start in a second. Shout out to everybody who caught the last stream on YouTube. Last stream was the first stream on YouTube. Shout out to everybody who caught that. If you on Twitch, low key. If you on Twitch, the YouTube is gonna be low key too cold, and if you on YouTube, the Twitch is gonna be low key CGB. Keep on sipping. Should be decent. Yo. Alright, boom. Not gonna start y'all boys out. Second day the Durk trial. Yesterday, if you don't know, yesterday was the first day of the Durk trial. Basically, they had 80 jurors. 80 jurors. They had to narrow it down to 16. It's gonna be 12 people sitting on a jury and 4 like replacements if you want. I think that's how they do it. It starts with a rather than larger jury pool, then they narrow people down, and there was really somebody who it got narrowed down for like I'm gonna get into it later. We're gonna get into it later, but we're gonna tap in with Trap Lil Ross. If you don't know Trap Lil Ross, he is actually in California, so he's been giving everybody updates, and then his first he was giving everybody updates, whatever, and his first update is essentially So yesterday there was like these people there. There's Durk supporters there, of course. The public is there, the media is there, and there were Durk supporters there, and they were giving out like these kind of like pamphlets of like Durk in support of Durk, and basically the judge was just saying that he wasn't having that. So Trap Lil Ross, he about to.
So day 2 of the Lil Durk trial, we're going through jury selection. I'm not going to lie, things got off to an insane start. The judge was furious. The judge was very, very, very upset. And I'm going to tell you what happened. And the reason why might surprise you. I don't know if this was in reference to... I don't know who told the judge. I don't know who's telling out here, okay? There might be some people telling in the courtroom on other people in the courtroom. But the judge, basically, one of the first things the judge said, he said, I'm very upset. I'm going to admonish people that were distributing free Durk material. Remember in the last video I showed you these that were going around? These free Durk postcards that were apparently being handed, well, not apparently, I'm telling now, okay? We were in the courtroom and there were people from, you know, supporting Durk. Somebody had a magazine that had printed up, like a free Durk magazine. They let other people read it. They weren't giving it out, but they were letting people have a look through it, and they said there'd be more copies available. But they gave out these free little Durk postcards, right? I got given a few of these, and I mentioned it in my last video. I don't know how the judge got wind of that. I don't know if other people brought it up, but the judge was furious. He said that he's not happy with people distributing free Durk materials. He said public opinion being disseminated inside of the courtroom is grossly improper. It's out of line. You can't be in there trying to influence people. He said, as Americans, you can have your opinions, you can have your views, you can express them online, but what you can't do is go into a courtroom and lobby for a certain result, or contact a juror, or even the possibility that one of these might have been left behind somewhere that a juror might have seen it was apparently grossly improper. Now, he basically said, look, this is a common sense requirement. I shouldn't even have to tell you this, but this is super out of line. And he said, yo, you guys might be in big trouble for this. He said, this is a common sense requirement. He said, if I hear about this going on again, you could be removed from the courtroom and prosecuted for contempt of court. So these folks giving out these free Durk things, I get where your heart is coming from, but like that apparently is improper. You got to stop that, because you actually might be getting prosecuted for that, unfortunately. So free Lil Durk campaign, judge ain't going for it. And what was interesting, before you say he's biased, he did say, he said, look, if Lil Pab's family was doing the same thing, hanging out, cook Lil Durk pamphlets in the courtroom, he said he would be just the same. He said he would be looking at contempt of court. He would be looking at having them removed. Doesn't matter if it's Durk's family, Durk's friends, Lil Pab's family. Doesn't matter if Youngboy pulls up, passing out 4K tray pamphlets, right? It's not proper. It's not allowed. And it was very controversial. The judge was furious. It kicked off on kind of a negative note with that one. So that was crazy. So day two.
Yo, shout out to everybody that's actually pulling up to the Durk trial, all the supporters, not just the media. Shout out to Traveler Ross, first and foremost, for giving us the content and giving us all the updates. But shout out to everybody that's actually pulling up, everybody who had the magazines and the flyers and the merchandise. Shout out to all y'all for showing up, being a nuisance, to letting them feel the presence of the community, for everybody who's rocking with Durk on this one, wanting to see him free, wanting to see him back on land, you feel what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all, but essentially the judge is saying, hey, you come here with merchandise and paraphernalia in favor of Durk, we not doing that. We not handing out pamphlets and booklets and whatnot. We're not going to do that. You can be American, you can go on the internet and express how you feel and all that, but in the courtroom, you're not going to do that in the courtroom. In the courtroom, you're not going to try to persuade people into agreeing with you. And basically, he said, it's not prejudice, it's vice versa. No, if Lil Pab's family, the prosecution's family, or whatever, Lil Pab's family, they did the same thing, be treated the same as well. So, you know, but judge is furious, but you know, they got over that. It's nothing really too serious. Something real quick, they could just nip that in the bud, but like, what's up? What else is going on?
All right, so I'm outside the courthouse. We just heard a very, very crazy update in the courtroom in the Lil Durk trial. It's currently day 2, and we're basically hearing about what's going on with the jury selection. Now, there's a whole bunch of different jurors that have been questioned for different reasons, but one of them was absolutely insane. There were gasps in the courtroom. There was claims that racism was already running rampant amongst the jury. Now, look, I'll tell you what they said, and you can tell me what you think, okay? They basically brought up, the defense brought up the fact that apparently one of the jurors, and I won't say which juror, I won't say the number, anything like that, it doesn't really matter at this stage, but one of the jurors apparently claimed in their questionnaire that by just looking at the defendants, they looked guilty. And then they apparently went on to say, I saw a lot of people die because of people that look like them.
Now, off the road, we not tolerating that shit. We not tolerating no shit look like this. And this is why it always comes back down to one thing. It always comes back to race, and it's always folks saying, black people always make it about race. It's not always race. It's this, it's that. Nah, it's always race. Even above all, I know a lot of people always like to try to get away with the whole, oh, it's not race, it's class. You know, it's rich people and poor people. Well, Durk is rich, and now he's in court still dealing with racism. Here's the fucking catch-22 about jury of your peers. You can be a young, rich black man, and they'll say, well, we're going to judge you by a jury of your peers. And then it'll be an old, middle-class white man on the jury. Like, How was that my peer? And even if like, unless okay, rich, everybody's not rich, so let's not say rich. Everybody's not rich. So let's just say, boom, example, you take the kid from the ghetto, the 17-year-old kid from the ghetto, and now he's in court, and you say a jury of his peers, and on the jury there's a white man who's 65 years old. How the fuck is that his peer? How? They don't shop at the same stores. They don't listen to the same music. They don't eat at the same restaurant. They don't like the same women. Chances are the old white man is married. The young kid, he's not even in a relationship. How was that my peer? We didn't go to the same schools. We didn't get the same education. We don't do the same things. We don't have the same career. How are we peers? How can a peer is somebody that you and them see eye to eye? You graduate with your peers. Know what I mean? How can I graduate with somebody 3 times my age? Or how can somebody be my peer if they're not even in my tax bracket? Or if you're not even like I'm not saying people of separate races can't be peers, but the chances are slim. Like you have to for somebody to be, for a white man and a black man to be peers, you're gonna have to pull them from the same environment or either the same kinds of environments. You can't go get somebody from, I don't know, the suburban streets of Utah. No, man, look, you can't get somebody from the south side of Chicago and then go and get somebody from the suburbs of Chicago and go their peers. They're not peers. They're not peers. Like I said, not the same race, not the same class, not the same music, not the same restaurants, not the same education. They're not peers. They're not the same. And a lot of times that'll happen. And this is why this is such a big race thing, because a lot of times that'll happen. Like you go to these juries and it'll be black people on trial for whatever. And then they'll be like, well, a jury of their peers. And then you look into the jury and nobody's black. What are the chances that we have a jury of 12 of my peers and not one of them is black? How are they my peers? It's 12 people on this jury and not one of them is black? Or maybe you might see a case where only 2 of them is black. How are they my peers? You got people up there who aren't even the same gender as me, who aren't the same race as me, who aren't the same religion as me, who don't eat the same food I eat, who aren't the same age group as me, who don't like the same women I like, who don't like the same music I like, who don't have the same educational background I have, who don't have the same professional background I have, who don't come from the circumstances in which I come from. So how can they be my peers? You're going to judge me. And it's supposed to be a jury of peers because it's supposed to be people who understand where you're coming from, right? Because why else the fuck would it be a jury of your peers? It has to be people in your shoes, people from your environment, people in your community. So how can somebody who's never been in my shoes sit here and try to judge me? Now you're going to take people who don't understand me or my lifestyle, and you're going to tell them, and the prosecution is going to tell them that I did all these crazy ass things, and they don't even know me or know my circumstances. And so they're going to look at me and go, what? There's a chance he did that? Oh, yeah, nah, we can't have this guy on the streets. That's crazy. And then for you, that's just flat out racist. For you to just look at somebody and say they look guilty, they all look guilty, and I've seen people be hurt by people who look like them, that's outrageous. That's outrageous. In America, this day and age, there's no room for racism, bro. That's uncalled for. That's not how you address people. That's not how you address another man. That's not how you address people. That's inhumane. That's crazy it's even still people on this earth who operate like that. That's how you live your life. That's how you live. You that distasteful. This shit is
Now, there were literally gasps in the courtroom. There was various people that said that's racist. They didn't yell it, but people were that's racist, calling it out, saying racist, what the hell? And after that, the judge said something very interesting. Now, I'm sure everybody is going to be reporting about this statement that was made. I don't think the judge was condoning what was said. I don't think the judge was backing the racism in any sort of way. The judge has been very fair and impartial. But what the judge did say is he said, look, I'm not going to disqualify this juror immediately. I'm going to make further inquiries. He said, unfortunately, due to the climate in America and due to the, basically a lot of these opinions and things that are spread around America, a certain way of thinking, he says, unfortunately, he didn't say this, but, he inferred that, maybe due to institutional racism, certain groups, obviously all the defendants in this case were African Americans, certain groups being persecuted. He said, it's very unfortunate and sad, but many Americans do feel like these defendants might look guilty. These defendants might be of a certain background that does have guilt presumed against them.
And that's no excuse, because that's still racist as hell, which shouldn't be allowed. Like, I'm not even going to get into that. Look at comments like this is funny. Like, all he did was make sure he wasn't chosen for jury duty. He knew if he said that, he would get struck from jury pool, and that he can go home and live his regular life. Facts. Nobody likes to go to jury duty. Nobody got that time for that kind of shit. Yeah, they better not ever send me to jury duty. They better not ever tell me I need to go to jury duty for no type shit. We gonna be there all day. If you gonna take my whole day away to go sit on some jury. I ain't sending nobody to jail. I don't give a damn if it's 4K evidence of the nigga doing this shit. Don't send me to jury duty. We gonna be there all day arguing. We not gonna come to a conclusion. I ain't sending nobody to jail. I'm not even listening to the evidence. I don't give a damn. The fuck? Sound like someone trying to get out of jury duty. Look at this right here. If they keep him, that's ground. If they keep him, that's grounds for an appeal alone. If sentence, I don't know why Trap Lord Ross is trying to sit here and spare niggas. Like, they already said, like, it was already reports out. What's it is? Yeah, there's already reports out that it was juror 18. Lil Durk's day 2 of trial started with his defense team requesting to strike juror 18 after they allegedly said defendants look guilty and they've seen a lot of people die by people who look like them. The judge questioned whether the juror could put that aside and be fair, leaving the overflow room visibly reacting to the exchange. Yeah, that's crazy. He can't. Yeah, so Trap Lil Ross is trying to spare this motherfucker. This motherfucker's already been exposed for whoever he is. Juror 18. I don't know if there's public record of that. If somebody's ever going to be able to find out. Whether they do or not is neither here nor there. They're actually off the case now. If you don't know, they're no longer a part of the jury pool. So shout out to the judge. Shout out to everybody who just decided to make the right decision and not allow that to happen.
He wasn't condoning it, but he said that he will inquire further. He said that he is going to kind of get to the bottom of it. He's going to ask them about the situation, and they very well may be struck off. And he said something along the lines of like, I could basically strike, potentially, depending on how they respond to these questions, I could strike them off and put them on a much more boring civil case. So I don't think that's any kind of punishment, but it sounds like if there's really a racist juror and that they are asked and questioned about their opinions, it's possible that they might come back and say, no, what I meant to say was that, I felt like I could be impartial because I've been convinced from years of brainwashing that, African Americans are more likely to commit crime due to the racist reporting that's been made for years and the ignorance that's spread.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a crazy consequence. We're gonna take you off this case and put you in a lamer ass case. Like, that's crazy. Like, damn, it's not even. So he wouldn't have even got off the case. It was like, he did get put off the case. I think he just got put on a different one because I guess they was just like, well, you're not gonna be able to put this aside. We're gonna put you on this one, which is crazy. Like, nigga, I'd be pissed if I'm trying to get out of jury duty and I gotta end up still like doing jury duty. That would have pissed me off, but going to the next update.
All right, so I'm outside the courthouse. It is now officially day 2 of the Lil Durk trial, and we're going through jury selection. We just heard some really, really interesting stuff about different jurors, different people that are being put across, and there was a very interesting exchange between the judge and Dee Dee's lawyer. Now, Dee Dee's lawyer has been very vocal over the last few sessions. Obviously, he is separate to the
Free Dee Dee, Free Deesky, that's threat.
Alleged dream team of Drew Findling, Brian Steele that Durk's putting forward. And it seems like on a lot of motions, all the lawyers are going to be joined up unless they disagree or they opt out of being included in each other's motions. But Dee Dee's lawyer has really been going hard for Dee Dee separately. And he asked a lot of interesting questions, and he kind of followed up on this very controversial issue of whether this, gang evidence is being allowed to brought up, whether the jury is going to be allowed to be asked about the gang connections, things like that. And what was really interesting is that he had a little bit of a tense back and forth with the government, basically asking, look, is the connection, basically he was like, look, the court hasn't authorized gang info. Are we really even allowed to ask them about their thoughts on gang situations and, the role that gangs are or aren't allowed to play in this trial? Obviously, it's been very controversial, but the judge has made it clear this is not a gang case, it's not a gang murder. He's going to allow only limited discussion of gangs, specifically limited to, the motive of King Von being allegedly a very senior ranking member of the Black Disciples. and the motive for revenge being avenging King Von, who was allegedly a prolific gangster in the Black Disciples, but that the murder wasn't necessarily gang related. They weren't at war with the Rolling 60s in Savannah, Georgia, that Quando's a member of, and the gang membership being a tie between the different members of OTF. And how they'd grown up in gangs, how they knew each other. The judge made a very interesting metaphor, which was a little bit spicy, but also it kind of made everybody understand exactly what was going on. And this received a few little gasps and tuts in the courtroom. A few people were like, so he basically said, look, gang's going to be allowed to be discussed in terms of the connection between the defendants and the motive for avenging Von. He said, look, it's being alleged that OTF is a gang. And I allowed the discussion of OTF as a gang to be discussed in February. There's debate about whether this is a musical collective or a gang. He said that basically King Von's membership of OTF and a leader in the Black Disciples, that is what makes there to be an expectation of revenge. And then what you said next was crazy. I'm not going to lie. He said,
does that really? Like, you got to factor in, like, let me let him finish.
Look, there wouldn't be the same expectation of revenge for Von if rather than OTF they were all in the Boy Scouts, or if they were a chapter of the NAACP. Now, some people were kind of offended by maybe the reference of that organization in this context.
Okay, boom, like, so he's saying, like, okay, well, if OTF were a gang of boys, not a gang, but if OTF were an organization of Boy Scouts or an organization like the NAACP, crazy, but if OTF were one of these conglomerates, then there wouldn't be an expectation for Sly and for Von. But you don't think like that? I would. That's not completely a gang thing. Like, at the end of the day, these are rappers. These are street rappers. Like, they rap about the ghetto. So maybe that's where it comes from. Maybe, like, you can't just say, well, it's because they're a gang. Like, they're street rappers, and there's plenty of street rappers who don't gangbang because they don't gangbang in every state. So there's plenty of street rappers who don't gangbang. So automatically saying, well, this isn't a gang case. We're not talking about the validity of OTF being a gang, but we can touch on it from time to time whenever it's relevant, because at the end of the day, there wouldn't even be an expectation for a Sly for Vine campaign if y'all wasn't a gang, which sounds crazy. And then the Sly for Vine campaign thing it comes from the internet. It doesn't come from the streets. And what the hell does the internet have to do with gang culture? Not a damn thing.
But I got the point that he was making. He was basically saying, look, if OTF was, you know what I'm saying, only the Boy Scouts, they probably wouldn't expect the revenge, a brutal, broad daylight murder in revenge for the murder of a member of the Boy Scouts. So they said that the government can use the gang affiliations to argue that there's a greater expectation of revenge. I don't know if the Boy Scouts are really sliding like that. I'm nearly falling into this pond here. That's crazy. But anyway, that is the latest. All right, so I'm outside the courthouse.
Yo, did y'all know that FBG Duck mom had something to say about this shit? I mean, this shit don't got shit to do with her, son. It's not like it's like the O Block 5. Not like it's Mo-Wop and them. Why the fuck is she speaking on it? Like, she be so bored.
Yes, y'all. And this for...
And who the fuck screen recorded? Yo, she got 2-3 people in her live. Who the fuck screen recorded this shit and then sent it to academics? Y'all petty as fuck.
Any God-fearing person, what God got for you, he got for you. And it's just not the good things. You're going to get them bad things, too, for playing with him, for blaspheming, for thinking he a joke, for thinking he don't exist, for thinking he don't make it possible, for only thinking that he only come around when stuff is going good, or not acknowledging him when it's bad. If I can tell y'all this, because I ain't prayed this much in their life, because now they need God. And now they want God to like, but where was all that when the other families was going through what they was going through?
Where was all this empathy and compassion when Duck put out Dead Bitches? When Duck was out here, bro, y'all know Duck been rapping since Chief Keef been out, right? Duck died in 2020. He been rapping since Keef been out. So that was about 9-10 years of dissing dead ops, sliding on niggas. Where was she at when Duck put out Dead Bitches? Where was she at when Duck put out Exposing Me? Where was she at when Duck put out Slide? Where the fuck was she at when Duck was dissing all these niggas? When Duck was in the video for computers with Wooski, where the fuck was she at? But y'all always doing this shit. Y'all always acting like when your kids died, they was angels and it shouldn't have been them and all type of shit. Man, these niggas be out here gang banging, sliding, and doing all this crazy ass shit too. They be 730 just like everybody else. Your son was a gang member, man. He just dead people, man. You even went on the internet and said that his brother was a murderer. Your son Brick, you went on the internet and said that he was a murderer. That was his brother. Your sons is criminals, man. So if they gonna dish it out, they gotta be able to take that shit. It's the way it is, and you can't get on the internet and shame motherfuckers and try to look down on somebody. Oh, now you need God. Wait, shit, your son needed God when he got his ass. Like, that shit's crazy as fuck. Like, your parents is always doing this shit. It's just like, you could tell, like, she was the kind of parent that when they called her to the motherfucking school and they were like, yo, your son did this. Not my boy, not my baby. Like, come the fuck on now. Like, y'all be delusional as fuck. Thinking y'all kids is all right. Like, this shit, like, this is history, bro. Like, Duck been dissing these niggas. E-Day and all, like, this shit go way back. Like, a lot of y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all be talking about. I be seeing, like, on the internet, some of y'all be like, oh, they dissed Duck first, they dissed all Duck Hobies first, da-da-da. This shit go way back, bro. This shit go super back. This shit go, like, a lot of y'all not even old enough that had been following this shit, like, the proper way. A lot of y'all ain't even know who Duck was until, like, 2019, 2020, until damn near he died when King Von was out, until King Von was popping. Y'all ain't even know who Duck was until King Von put out LeVon James, until took her for the O. Y'all ain't know what. So a lot of y'all not even tapped in enough and not even old enough. Y'all like, y'all born in 2012, 2011. Like, y'all not even born, y'all wasn't even old enough to even like really know the history of this shit. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. A nigga like me, bro, I'm old enough. I know this shit. I remember this shit. I listen to these niggas. I know all these niggas, dog. Like, I know what's going on. And it's crazy. Like, and even if you did hop on the train late, like, y'all know what Duck about. Y'all heard them songs. Y'all know what's going on. So why this nigga mom always acting like, that nigga mom on here, now y'all need God. What the fuck, like your family, like your family, peaches and cream, like, your family is gang members. Murderers, criminals. They just the dead. This is your family, and you said that shit. And you want to hop on here and shame Durk? Like, the nerve of you, dog. Y'all motherfuckers be on that high horse, so high and mighty. Yeah, you just hurting bitter, lady.
Behind this man was doing, behind his team was doing, it's not right. Well, I tell you this, they say Jam gonna get on that stand and gonna tell every goddamn thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Duck don't get brought up. But I was hearing that.
No, you want Duck shit to get brought up. Come on now. Them niggas that got caught up for the shit with your son is in jail, ma'am. All them niggas, they call all 5, 6 of them niggas, ma'am. You want Duck shit to get caught up. You got a little too much satisfaction and seeing Durk in this predicament.
And yeah, he put up 50 and when they dropped pictures, he put up the other dude, put up the other 50. Well, we gonna see. When Jam testify and all these other people testify, we're gonna see. When I say this right, all that was over music. It's just senseless. And I'm saying this because I feel like I got the right to speak on. And nothing I'm saying is biased, is wrong, but it's what God is intending to happen. I can tell y'all this for a fact. There is no way that Carlton Weekly would have gotten in that position and fumbled it like that. Not only would he have did it, his family wouldn't have let him, or his friends. How the clout is. Well, what I'm going to do is prove I'm going to try to change the narrative because I was a part of this destruction, so it's up to me.
That's what I mean, bro. Y'all always acting like y'all kids is exempt from some shit. Your son got rich and famous. I'm not from Chicago, dog. I know who your son is. The world knows who your son is. Your son got rich and famous and stayed in the same city where all the violence was happening, where everybody wanted him dead. Everybody wanted him dead in Chicago. And he stayed there anyway, with all the money, clout, a record deal, all type of shit. Is that not fumbling the opportunity? Like, it's not even like the motherfucker was in a whole nother state and some shit happened to him, a la Pop Smoke or some shit like that. This nigga had beef, real street beef in that city. He even did an interview with Vlad. And I don't know. I don't even want to pull up the motherfucking Vlad interview. Like, I don't even want to pull that nigga shit. Copyright my shit off. And Vlad is a sucker. But he did an interview with Vlad and was like, "Yo, we did this to ops, but like we call them bitches and suckers and shit. But we know they really on that. We know if they catch us what it is." Duck said this shit in a Vlad interview. He said this shit. Go the same shit where he was checking Young and May for saying the Tuka shit. Go look that shit up. I'm not about to pull him. Fuck Vlad. But yeah, Duck said that shit. So in the city where you know the niggas is really on that and will really get on your ass if they caught you for all that shit that you was doing and saying, with all your rich and with all your money and all this opportunity, you stayed there. Is that not a fumble? If anything, he fumbled this shit just like Von and Durk. He fumbled this shit like everybody else. Man,
Need to try to make it right. Whatever the outcome with this man's life is, it's God's decision. It's gonna be on God. But I'ma say this, y'all, and this for any God-fearing person.
Nah, you just want something evil to happen because you mad about what happened to your son, lady. We on to you.
So I'm outside the courthouse. It's day 2 of the Durk trial, and we've got some more interesting updates on some of the potential jurors. Now, it might be some good news for Durk, because it sounds like there are actually a couple Durk fans potentially amongst the jury. There was a reference to one juror who had apparently answered the questionnaire saying that they had admitted that they had actually looked at Lil Durk's Wikipedia page. Now, the judge kind of raised a bit of an eyebrow to that one and said, we're going to have to find out when they looked at Durk's Wikipedia page. If they went home after I told them not to, and looked at Durk's Wikipedia page after being told what this trial was all about, that's going to be a problem. But if it just so happens that they had looked at Durk's Wikipedia page previously, then that might be able to run. Now, there was apparently another person who was a bit more familiar with Durk's music, and this could go either way. This could...
Hold on, but how the fuck are they going to find out? This is what I'm saying, bro. You did nothing wrong, and you get summoned to go to jury duty, and then you gotta go through all this dumb shit. How exactly do you plan on finding out when did they go to Durk's Wikipedia page? Because why would you say it like that? Why would you say it like that if you're gonna just ask them? You wouldn't say, "Well, we need to find out when they did it." You wouldn't say it like that if you were just gonna ask them. Are you about to go through this innocent cat's phone and go through their search history and shit and try to find that out? Because there's no way you're going to just take their word for it now. Because why would they even say it if they did it after you told them not to? Why would they even mention it if they did it after you told them not to? So even if you were to ask them, you're not going to take their word for it. So what extra steps do you plan on taking? So this is a motherfucker who's innocent, called to jury duty, goes to jury duty, and takes your survey and is completely honest on the survey. And it sounds like you about to go through their phone or some shit like they're a criminal. And this the kind of shit I'm talking about with the legal system, bro. That shit is bogus. I wouldn't even subject myself to no dumb shit like that. I wouldn't even show up for no shit like that. That's what I'm saying. I would just lie. This motherfucker was honest on the Wikipedia. He honest. He said, "Yeah, I seen this Wikipedia page." Or whoever the fuck it was said, "Yo, I'm honest. I seen the cat's Wikipedia." And now you like, well, hold up. Look, I thought the whole thing in court was innocent until proven guilty. This motherfucker was there, did your survey, and gave you an honest answer. And I ain't like, hold up, but did you do it when I told you not to? Why the fuck would I say it if I did it when you told me not to, nigga? How does that even make... Why would I do that? Why would I bury myself like that? Use your fucking head. No, I didn't do it when you told me not to. What are we even talking about? Why is this even a conversation? And what you mean you about to find out? It don't sound like you don't just ask me. It sounds like you about to take some extra steps. What extra steps could you possibly take outside of go through my phone? And do I have a choice in that? Can you just strike me from because you're not going through my... See, look, this is the kind of dumb shit you got to go through when you get called to be the jury. That's what I'm saying. And I said something on Instagram. I was in somebody's Instagram comments, and I'm like, nigga, I would have lied. Like, I never heard of Durk. They like, yeah, nigga, they was going to hold you in contempt of court. They was going to throw you in jail. Like, nigga, I'm not going through all this dumb ass shit. Nigga, I lied. I don't know the nigga. Y'all got to go through my playlist and find all the million of that nigga songs in my shit.
This could be really good for Durk, or this could be devastating for Durk. They basically said somebody had actually mentioned that they were aware of one of the bond rulings in the case. They didn't say specifically who, but they were closely enough following the case of Durk to know that either Durk or Didi or any of the guys specifically had been denied a bond. They basically said, look, that's not necessarily indicative of prejudice, but we've got to try and get to the bottom of and find out, exactly what was known. And apparently somebody else actually discussed knowing a lot about the case that actually led up to the murder itself. So I believe one juror actually said that, you know, they had listened to Durk's music in the past, and the judge kind of said, he's not sure if that's going to be relevant. But what was said that was actually pretty crazy is that apparently somebody had said that they were aware, I believe this is more or less what they said, they were aware of the trauma that had led up to the incident. Now, I don't know if that means that they're referring to, you know, Lil Durk's street trauma. Obviously, raps in all of his albums about the street trauma, the horrible things that he went through growing up, the dozens of friends that he's lost to the streets, or if that's specifically referring to the death of King Von and basically how, you know, the trauma of losing King Von and D-Thang might have led Durk to do these things. Now, all of these jurors, they're going to be questioned further. There's going to be kind of more interrogation as to what they actually know very soon. I don't know if we're going to hear from the jurors themselves or if questions are going to be asked privately and then the judge is going to reveal that to the courtroom. But I'll be sure to let you guys know as soon as I hear an update. And there's one more thing that I've got to let you know about that's pretty crazy that went down in the courtroom.
Bro, this whole thing is stupid. Lil Durk has been putting out rap songs on YouTube since 2009, my nigga. He has a song with Drake, and Back in Blood is almost diamond. Who the fuck don't know Durk? There's no way we about to sit here and like, oh, we you know Durk, we gotta exclude you. I'm saying, you'd have to lie. Who the fuck don't know who Durk is? Who the fuck ain't aware of who King Von is? Cause what are we? Of course, there's niggas on the jury who listen to this nigga music. What are we even debating? Niggas know them, bro. Who the fuck don't listen to him? Who don't? He has a song with Drake. This motherfucker got a song with Drake, dog. He got a song with Drake. Back in Blood is almost diamond. Who don't know who Durk is? Why is we even like? Come on now, like what? This is stupid. The whole thing is stupid, bro. Y'all bending over backwards.
All right, folks, so I'm here back outside the courthouse for the Lil Durk trial, day number 2, and we've got a very big, a very interesting update about the alleged racist juror. Obviously, you might have seen the previous video I did or some other reporting going around that apparently there was a juror that was apparently, I don't want to say openly racist, but they were saying some things that could definitely be interpreted as being racist. Specifically, they were saying that the defendants looked like they could have did it. They were saying that they looked like the sort of people that kill people. Some pretty intense stuff that was apparently being said. And it is now official. That juror has been dismissed. Now, it was very, very interesting. It wasn't surprising. I think this judge is extremely fair, extremely balanced in the way that he's been going about things. Honestly, I've just got to tip my hat because he didn't have a knee-jerk reaction when that information was brought up by the defense. He didn't immediately scramble to sort it. He said that he was going to talk with them. He was going to look into it closer. Clearly, he did do his due diligence. And the result of that is that juror has been dismissed. And he said something very interesting. He came back after the break, after announcing that would be the case. He thanked the jury and he said something really interesting. He basically said, look, thank you for the jury. Thank you for being so honest in the questionnaire. He said, to be honest, you know, you guys were so honest. Sometimes you guys volunteered some things that maybe weren't called for. And I think that was a reference to some of those things that were said previously. So I think it is great news. Everyone was happy. There was kind of like a certain degree of relief, I would say, going on around court when that news was announced. And I think it's only right. Those sort of biases don't really have any place in this kind of trial, in this kind of situation. I think the judge has been very fair. I think he's made really, really great decisions. And I don't think anyone can really fault him so far, other than, you know, just one awkward slip of the tongue at the start of this that really doesn't affect anything. So mad respect to the judge. He's doing a really great job. There's been some kind of confidential discussions going on in a sidebar that we've not really been privy to. So yeah, we're all just kind of waiting for an update. We're waiting for more information. There have been a number of other jurors that have been disqualified. I won't give you their numbers or anything like that. I don't want to even be anything remotely close to identifying any jurors, but what I will say is that you know, a handful of jurors, about 4 or 5 different jurors have been dismissed. They didn't really give us specific reasons for those, but they did let us know that that particularly controversial juror has been.
I mean, well, of course there was a shit ton of jurors that got dismissed. There was fucking 80 of them yesterday, so that every juror that gets dismissed isn't going to be like this isn't gonna be like this big story or, oh, look, so and so, like, it ain't really gonna be that. It ain't really gonna be this big story. It's gonna be what the fuck ever it was. Let me see some shit. Yeah, that shit ain't gonna be no big ass story. Look at Durk Daddy in court. Yeah, everybody that get caught up ain't gonna be no big ass. Yeah, that look like the damn pamphlet they had. Like this shit that Trapper Ross are showing. Yeah, and everybody ain't gonna. Yeah, that shit ain't gonna be. that shit just not. Alright, man, I want to see some shit right quick. Got out Screwface John. Let me see something. Cause this nigga academic said something. Where is this shit at, bro? Hold up.
Let's go. Melodies, psychedelic.
Look what am I gonna go prove myself? Fucking, he's dead, right? I say, yo, I fucking hate Republicans, right?
You try to shame him with the fact that there wasn't enough.
Okay, boom. Now, 6ix9ine, like this is probably like 2 days ago. One on live. Or look, this specific situation was like 2 days ago, but 6ix9ine been doing this shit like every day, bro. He's been talking. He's been talking shit about like Durk. And matter of fact, let me see some shit. Let me see if I can find something. Let me see if I can. Look at this cornball shit.
Yo, I don't know who need to hear this, but y'all been trying to convince me.
Look, I think this is a video. Look at this dumbass shit this motherfucker.
Yo, I don't know who need to hear this, but y'all been trying to convince me for the past 5 to 6 years that I did bad, I did something wrong. You know I'm alive, right? It's 2026. I'm free. I'm alive. I get to hug my mom. Right now, I'm not in no cell waiting till a CO tell me pull my pants down, cough, shut the fuck up, lock in, nigga, turn the lights off. Bro, y'all niggas over here trying to improve 9-to-5ers, bro. You know that, right? These 9-to-5ers, half of these niggas unemployed or half of these niggas working 9 to 5. They gotta wait. It's over, bro. Like, one nigga about to do life in prison and the other nigga is dead. Now you crashed out. Listen to me. I don't give a fuck what you. Yeah, bro, you do it. Bro. Yeah, 6ix9ine, baby. So you crashed out for a nigga that's dead. You didn't even. The nigga that killed him is out here alive. He rapping about this shit. Bro, you lost. It's over. Matter of fact, I'm gonna prove this shit to y'all niggas. Y'all niggas, like, look at freedom. Look how good freedom is, bro. How you doing?
And look, I'm glad I even came to this video before I even went into that whole academic spiel, because I'm gonna pretty much say the same shit for this video that I would have said for the whole academics joint. Bro, why the fuck are you trying to convince us that you made the right decision? Like, at this point, 6ix9ine snitched in like 2018. Nigga, it's been 8 years, my nigga. It's been 8 years since this nigga 6ix9ine told, and this nigga still trying to convince us he did the right thing. Bro, we don't care. If you were so comfortable in your own skin and comfortable with the decisions that you made, why the fuck is you trying to convince us that you snitching was the right thing to do and everybody else doing? Nigga, we don't care. You told. Nigga, what? That's how I know you're not happy with yourself. You're not happy on the inside, bro. You want validation. And then you talking about, look, Durk crashed out for validation, then what are you looking for? Because if you wasn't crashing out for validation, then why was you committing all those crimes? You was with them Bloods in New York, committing robberies, beating niggas up, calling in hits, and now you talking like you're not even with the gangster shit no more. Now you talking like you ain't with the street shit no more. So why the fuck was you doing it then? You told, and now you seeking validation. Bro, you told, bro. Like, it is what it is. Like, why you been trying to, bro, it's been damn near 10 years and you trying to convince us you did the right thing. You want us to like you so bad. You seeking, bro, this nigga 6ix9ine is sad, dog. This motherfucker got no friends left. You want us to like you so bad. You want the internet talking about Durk and all these other niggas crashed out for motherfuckers on the internet. Why the fuck are you been on the internet for damn near for the better half of 10 years trying to convince us you did the right thing by telling? Bro, we don't give a fuck. We don't care. You told. Why are you trying to convince us you did the right thing? You want everybody on the internet to validate you. You want to be liked again, bro. That shit is runts. That shit is over, bro. We don't give a fuck. But like, we don't care, bro. Like, we worried about Durk and you want to insert yourself in some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. You don't know Quando Rondo. You don't know Youngboy. You don't know Durk. You don't know these niggas. You don't be around these niggas. You want to keep poking fun at situations. You want to talk like, oh, they crashed out. Wasn't you a gang member, bro? Why? Why were you a gang member? I haven't seen you with a red rag in years. Why were you a gang member then and not a gang member now? Why did you come out of blood? Why would you hang in with Crips? Why would you robbing people? Why would you putting hits out on Chief Keef? Why would you doing all this street shit and you talk about freedom? You love freedom so much, but they got you on cameras putting out hits on Chief Keef. And it's real, because a nigga really shot at Chief Keef. And a nigga did an interview about the shooting. So you love your freedom so much that we got you on cameras committing actual crimes. So was you crashing out for the internet when you was doing all that goofy shit? But now Durk crashed out and King Von crashed out and you so above everybody else and you know so much, you know so better, you so smart. Nah, dickhead, you got caught. You was in the same position Durk is. Just that Durk keeping it real. He handling his business. You got caught, you told, got out, and now you out here with your chest poked out like you King Kong on some high and mighty shit. Bro, you was in the same position. You was fucked over too. You was facing gang charges and all kinds of crazy charges. You'd have been in jail just like the rest of them niggas had you not said nothing. But you told and got out and been trying to convince us for the better half of 10 years now that you did the right thing, bro. We don't give a fuck. You told. It is what it is. Now stop trying to convince us that you did the right thing, bro, because we don't think you did the right thing. We know you're a rat. We know you told, and we also don't care. We worrying about Durk, and you trying to insert yourself in this man's business. Bro, if you so free, and you did the right thing, and you so much of a king, and all this other cool shit, go live your life. Why are you still worried about Durk? You want to hop on live with academics in your big-ass crib? Why are you pressed about Durk? Live your life. Man, hold on. Let me see what the fuck he talking about this shit again.
Livingston Island. Did I come up with that?
No, but like you try to shame him with the fact that there wasn't immediate retribution.
So I try to shame. And so, you're my friend.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, no, 6ix9ine's gonna walk you down on the next interview to any interviewer, right?
Okay.
And then I get walked down on my next interview, and they literally say, well, AK, you're his friend. You literally said he walk anybody down on any interview. That kid knows what he's talking about. He comes with facts. And they walk me down. Now, this goes back to the Durk and Vaughn. I didn't say slide for Vaughn. Well, I did say, but I said what Vaughn said. Vaughn said, and if I should die, my niggas gonna slide every day. We boosting the murder rate. It's my First Amendment right of freedom of speech. And I'm literally saying what his friend said. I didn't trick him. His friend who's deceased tricked him out. Because maybe the song should have went a little bit like this. And if I should die, tell my friend to forget it, to keep living his life. Don't do anything about it. Like, we made it, nigga. We two young black men who came from nothing. Don't continue crime, bro. We made it. But
don't continue crying, bro. We made it. Now that you done got on, now you want to separate yourself from being a criminal after you done told on all them niggas. You done told on a gang of niggas quite literally, and now you want to separate yourself from being a criminal. Bro, we have you on video robbing people, calling in hits. They got you on video beating people up, banking people. Bro, they got you on video committing crimes while you were rich. So if Durk is doing it and crashing out and looking for clout and looking to validate himself by everybody in the chat and all this internet shit, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad I seen the video. Come and just see this and say all the same shit. This nigga a hypocrite, bro. Like, bro, stand on, like, bro, you a hypocrite. You not even really standing on business for real. Cause you was gang. Remember, blood walk. Oh, they don't really understand how the fuck a blood talk. Remember all that shit? You was a gang baby. You was Tupac. Nigga, you was Tupac. Now you not with this shit no more. After you done told on them niggas now being a criminal is below you and you rich and all this other high and mighty shit, man. They use a cornball, man. Shut that shit the fuck up, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like, why do we even give platforms to niggas like this, bro? I don't even get it. And this is like not even like no dick ride, but like what you saying is just all contradictory. Like, bro, you just, I don't know, nigga on this bitch is talking simple as fuck. Hey, man. Shout out Trap Lord Ross. Shout out Academics for covering the trial. Shout out Trap Lord Ross for actually, Trap Lord Ross is not even fucking from the States. He don't live in the States. Shout out to him for even making the trip to even cover this Durk rigmarole, for all of us that can't make the trial, because he's the main source, the main leak of information really coming from it. Shout out to him, so we can hop on here and talk about it. Shout out to academics, shout out to everybody that's in there being a nuisance, pissing the judge off, keeping it real, holding Durk down. And if you want, shout out to everybody on YouTube right now, second YouTube live. Shout out to y'all for checking it out. Everybody that's watching the bag, anybody watching it live, whatever the case may be. If you on YouTube, check out the Twitch at LowKeyCGB. If you want Twitch, check out the YouTube at LowKey2Cold. Check out the Instagram at LowKeyCGB and at LowKey2Cold for the TikTok. And what's today? Friday. I'll probably go live again tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably go live again tomorrow. And I'm doing a little series on my Instagram. LowKeyCGB at LowKeyCGB on my Instagram. I'm doing a little series for Durk, so y'all can slide over there and check that out. I kind of explain what it is on my Instagram story. Y'all can slide over there, check that out, whatever. But yeah, I appreciate everybody showing me love.